Do you have faith? Have it to yourself before God. Happy is he who does not condemn himself in what he approves. Romans 14, verse 22. This interesting text deals with the problem of making conscience behave. Some people worry themselves sick over moral trifles. Other people seem to have no conscience at all. Conscience can be a great fortifier of righteous living, or conscience can cause inquisition. Lecky, in his History of European Morals, says, Philip II and Isabella inflicted more suffering in obedience to their consciences than Nero and Domitian in obedience to their lust. We can develop a reliable conscience by following the example of Jesus. It didn't hurt Jesus' conscience to eat with unwashed hands, to pluck heads of grain on the Sabbath, to keep company with sinners, or to forgive renegades. These activities shocked his contemporaries, but reflected upon his concepts of right and wrong. It did offend Jesus, however, greatly to see people refuse to accept their responsibility for aged parents, and then rationalize their neglect. It offended Jesus to see people taking advantage of the helpless and making long prayers in the sanctuary. It offended Jesus to see people insensitive to human need, and he was positively repelled by hypocrisy. Conscience makes some men harsh as whips and implacable as executioners. It leads others to be wise, understanding, sympathetic, magnanimous, and merciful. It led one minister in the early days of his pastoralship to excoriate a misbehaving lad brought to him for counsel so that he raked the boy fore and aft with withering indignation. Led the same minister, years later, with the same kind of boy before him, to go back into the lad's life with a physician's sympathetic insight, trying to see where the trouble came from and how to help set it right. In the latter case, a letter came afterwards from one of the boy's closest friends. It said, "You would hardly recognize even his physical aspect. He is so much changed." Conscience is a voice within that says, do right, but it doesn't define right. Only by studying God's Word do we understand and learn what right is. And as always, think on these things.